Hi friends, welcome back. So headline, Elon Musk claims Tesla will start using humanoid robots next year. And I think he's also saying they're going to be selling humanoid robots to other companies in 2026. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But I want to tell you why is Elon Musk talking so much about robots these days is because I think he knows his car business is over. And why is that? Well, the writing is on the wall, and I'll tell you who's writing it. It is BYD. This is the headline just coming out today. Uber to start using BYD cars in Europe, Latin America, and develop autonomous capable vehicles. This was just announced today. They're saying it's like going to be 100,000 cars to get started. And not only is BYD coming hard, I mean, they're coming really, really hard. So I'll show you. You guys got to worry about the Korean manufacturers as well. So BYD is in China. You have the Korean manufacturers, right? So Hyundai, Kia. You also have the Japanese manufacturers, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, etc. And Nissan, right, is another one. And then you have all the European manufacturers. Make me name off all of them. But point being, the competition is real. And I think BYD, though, is a challenge that is very serious. Because essentially what they're doing here, they're like, hey, we heard you, Mr. Tesla over there, are trying to do robo-taxis. Well, you know what? We're going to just partner with your enemies. Because remember, if Elon Musk goes all in on robo-taxi, Uber then becomes his enemy, essentially, because they're not partnering with Uber. And BYD's already jumping the gun there, right? They're already getting ahead going, yo, Uber, I think Tesla's coming for your business. How about we do a team up, right? And I think that's what's going on. And what's interesting about this as well, guys, it's everywhere. So they're starting with, it says, again, this is BYD and Uber. So we're going to start up with Europe, Latin America. Then they're eventually going to go to the Middle East, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And this is coming again from Uber and BYD. Now, we have viewers who watch this channel from all over the world. If you've seen a BYD, please let me know. If you've been in a BYD, be it like an Uber ride or something like that already, I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the quality of the cars, etc.? I have not seen one myself, so no comment there, but I'll get to that in a moment there, which we'll talk about. Also, too, BYD seems to be expanding also into other countries. So they got a new plant. It says here, new plant in Thailand, and then I guess they're planning to build factories in Brazil, Hungary, and I think you say Turkey now. And then also too, they're building something in Mexico, I believe. The thing is that's so crazy is they have other partnerships, EVgo, Revel Transit, also there, and I guess I think these are in London. I don't know these ones, and if you guys are in London, please let me know. This is why it's nice to talk about to people in the community from the international. Like, have you seen BYDs? Do you know these companies? Is this big news in your neck of the woods? I'll just say, guys, if I'm Elon Musk, yeah, I'm talking robots. Forget about the car business. We're getting out of it. We just can't compete because essentially, guys, this is just how it is traditionally. Cars are very, very competitive, and the more competition enters in the space, right, you get in these price wars. Because as a consumer, just a regular person that making a purchase decision, you have like say 5, 10 choices, maybe even 20 choices of the car in your category that you're looking at, and then you're just going to go with the best value. So this idea that you're going to stay brand loyal when maybe you could save 30% on your car purchase and maybe you can get a better value. It's just it is what it is. Now I know some people may stay brand loyal, but I think people are price sensitive when it comes to car shopping, and also too, if the product that you're looking at is offering you like really good value at a great price, which I think BYD is doing. I have yet to see one, but and I wanted to come back to this is that they're actually coming to Korea. Now the Korean market's going to be really interesting because here, guys, I'm going to show you Kia's, Genesis, Hyundai. They're everywhere. I mean, the Korean manufacturers do really, really well, obviously, in the home market, and they're expanding also, right? And so actually the Korean manufacturers were trying to block BYD, but this is just, how business is played. BYD's got money. They start making business deals and partnerships with local Korean companies, and I guess they're going to open up some showrooms here in Korea, and this is why I say I'll be able to see one shortly. So they're saying 20 showrooms, I think it's this year, and then they're going to go up to 70 showrooms by next year, which is pretty nuts. And then it mentioned Busan, where I live is Busan. So they mentioned Busan being on the list. So I'm actually really excited to see when, Busan is on the list. So we're going to be one the initial wave. The other thing, too, I thought was interesting, and I'll read this to you guys. It says, BYD's strategy involves opening 20 showrooms this year in the metropolitan area, Busan and Daegu. This approach contrasts all right, contrast with other electric vehicle companies like Tesla and Polestar, which have primarily targeted the South Korean market through online sales. Now, Tesla and Polestar do have showrooms. They do, just maybe not quite so many. And I can just tell you guys, some people do have Teslas here. You don't see that many on the road compared to the Korean cars. And I'm honestly really curious how BYD is going to do here. Now, I think the partnership with Uber just basically is a good way for people to actually experience being in a car. And I don't think that's a bad idea for any car manufacturer if you're, want to get your sort of brand out there and get people in your car, because it's different riding in a car opposed to just test drive, if you guys know what I'm saying. And then you can literally ask the driver, because I do that all the time actually when I'm in a ride with like a Uber. I'm always like, hey, what do you think about your car? Because it's always interesting to get in different cars. If you guys have that same experience, I'd like to hear if you do the same thing, to talk to people about their car. Yeah, I think this will be good exposure for BYD. And I want to see one for myself, and I'll give you an honest opinion if I think it's good or not. The other one, just I thought was the other big news. This is also coming out today, so they're going like crazy. They're looking to enter into Canada, and if we have any Canadian viewers, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Now, I guess what's going on right now is there's negotiations of like, okay, what are you gonna do with tariffs? Are you really gonna let us, show these things, etc. Because they were saying that the Canadians are tied to the Americans in their supply chains and such, and also politically as well. And so, will the Canadian government veer differently than the Americans? So the Americans are pressuring the Canadians to raise tariffs on the Chinese cars. And I don't remember the resolution. That you guys can tell me. I heard that they were talking about it. I don't know if the Canadians officially said, high tariffs. This one says right here, China's BYD seeks entry to Canada EV market despite likely tariffs. So it's not necessarily definite, but likely. Again, it's up to honestly, it's up to the Canadians to see what they decide to do. Now, what's interesting about this stuff is as well, and I've talked to you guys about this before on the channel. Remember, Mr. Musk is giving President Donald Trump, he's given a bunch of money. We don't know the exact amount. The first rumor was $45 million a month. Elon Musk says a bunch of lies, or he always says that. So maybe it's $44 million. Who knows? What does that buy you? And it's interesting because I don't think it buys you car stuff quite yet, because Donald Trump has been like really clear, and same with his running mate, JD Vance, that they think, the new green stuff is a scam, and they want to cut all the credits and stuff like that. And so it's like, why would Musk partner with Trump there? So this is my thinking on this, and this is conjecture. I'd like to get your thoughts. So if I'm Mr. Musk and I'm trying to sell people essentially robot workers, right? That's what I'm trying to do. My business goal is sell people robot workers. So instead of robot workers, what would we have? Well, obviously people. But just think about more about the politics of Trump and the politics of Musk these days. Musk is always talking about, illegal immigrants are ruining USA. I hate those, people, etc. Mr. Trump is always saying the same kind of thing. All those people from Mexico ruin your lives, etc. What if in this crazy world, just think about this, just play the scenario. Let's say we don't have any immigration for farm labor, any immigration for, hotels, for restaurants, any immigration for any kind of physical labor, be it building houses, etc. And theoretically, in Musk's world, he's like, you know what? If we cut off cheap labor from Latin America, South America, etc., what if we replace all those immigrants with robots? And I think this is something that, maybe I'm not the only one who figured it out, but it just sort of today it kind of fit together for me. And I was just thinking, okay, because I'm kind of wondering, like, what is Musk getting from Trump? And it could be, from Musk's point of view, cut off that labor coming in from south of the border, and let's give everybody robots. and it was interesting because it was recently there was one of the stock pumpers. It was the Mars dude I showed you guys, and the Mars guy was like, oh, what if you could have a robot to be, your pool guy and your gardener and your babysitter and all that kind of stuff. And it was interesting because if you think about those jobs, depending on where you live, and I'm sure you guys know this is just the reality. Oftentimes people use illegal labor for that kind of work, right? Your babysitters, your nannies, your gardeners, these kind of things. And essentially Musk is like, let's just forget about those people and let's all buy robots from me. So that's what I think, honestly, is Musk's plan to avoid bankruptcy, because essentially I think BYD, and that's just one, but I think all these other manufacturers are going to essentially rub them out of the car market. And that's what I see. So is the robots really going to replace cheap labor. I mean, I'll let for you to decide that. I think the robots, my personal opinion, is it's a pipe dream. I think the cost of these things are going to be through the roof. Probably over 100K. Musk says he'll come in and be able to sell these things for what 30K or something like that, maybe 25. But I don't think we're there anytime soon. But I do think that is sort of his master plan that he's thinking in his head. So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on this about Tesla's future in the car market, and do you agree with me with sort of Musk's political goals, and does it align with his robot goals? So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you all in the next video.